Jodie Ramsey, Olivia Frances Brown, has shown in today's Coronation Street that she really doesn't care who she hurts, as the twisted newcomer has now targeted a young child amid her somewhat strange plan. Jodie was introduced to us at the start of the year. After her appearance in Corriedale, Jodie was confirmed as Shona Platt's, Julia Golding's long-lost sister. It quickly became clear that Jodie deeply resented Shona for leaving the family home when they were younger. Left alone, Jodie had to deal with their troubled parents while Shona moved on, eventually giving birth to her son Clayton. With revenge in mind, Jodie slotted herself nicely into the Platt family and worked hard to convince everyone that she has a big heart, but came from a family where there wasn't a great deal of love. As she built up her facade, Jodie started secretly dripping poison in Lily Platt's, Grace Ashcroft Gardner, about how Shona really feels about her. As her plan to destroy her sister's life got underway, Jodie decided to try and connect with David Platt, Jack P. Shepherd, secretly believing she can get him to cheat on Shona. Getting revenge on a family member is a classic storyline in a soap, but what left fans incredibly intrigued was when it became obvious Jodie also takes pleasure in making other people's lives a misery as well. Following a clash with Bernie Winter, Jane Hazelgrove, Jodie snuck into the Olahan household and cut Bernie's face out of her wedding pictures. She then placed one of the images inside what appears to be a box full of items belonging to her past victims. Also inside was a book that Jodie stole from Brian Packham, Peter Gunn. Jodie turned her attention back to David in today's episode, and decided to try and get closer to him once more. After overhearing David talk to Gail Platt, Helen Worth, about how Lily wants a new tablet but they can't afford it, an idea started to form. In the precinct, Jodie spotted a young girl playing on her tablet. Pulling out the warrant card she stole from DS Lisa Swain, Vicky Myers. A few days ago, Jodie claimed the girl was handling stolen goods, and the item needed to be seized. Clearly terrified, the young girl handed the device over. Jodie stated she'd get it back. But obviously that won't happen. How will David react when Jodie presents the tablet for Lily? Will it draw him closer to his wife's sister? We're yet to find out the exact reason why Jodie is targeting so many Weatherfield residents. Is it just because she enjoys the thrill? Or will we discover another secret about her which will ultimately explain her behavior? In the ever-churning chaos of Coronation Street, villains come and go, but every so often, one emerges who doesn't just stir trouble. They poison the very air of Weatherfield. Jodie is fast becoming that kind of presence. Not loud, not reckless, but calculating, cold, and terrifyingly patient. And in the early ITVX release, the mask finally begins to slip. A smile that hides something dark. At first glance, Jodie doesn't look like a threat. She blends in, sharp-tongued, yes, but hardly the most dangerous person on the cobbles. She laughs when others laugh, argues when provoked, and keeps her emotions just believable enough. But beneath that carefully curated exterior lies something far more unsettling. Hints have been scattered for weeks. Cutting remark here. A manipulative comment there. A moment where her eyes linger just a second too long, not with concern but with calculation. Even when she defends others, there's always a sense that she's playing a longer game. And now that game is taking a sinister turn. A disturbing interest in a vulnerable child. The turning point comes when Jodie takes what seems like an innocent interest in a young child on the street, most notably Lily. But this is no act of kindness. According to early episode details, Jodie takes an interest in Lily's plight. On the surface it sounds compassionate. But in the world of Coronation Street, wording like that rarely signals anything good. Because Jodie doesn't help, she studies. She watches. She listens. She learns where the cracks are. Lily, already vulnerable, becomes the perfect target, not for physical harm, but for something far more insidious. Emotional manipulation. Jodie begins inserting herself into the child's world, offering comfort while quietly twisting perceptions. Kind word here. Planted doubt there. And slowly, dangerously, she starts to reshape how the child sees the people around her. Manipulation in its purest form. What makes Jodie truly frightening isn't violence. It's control. She doesn't shout. She doesn't lash out. She whispers. Her tactics are subtle, encouraging mistrust between the child and their family, positioning herself as the only safe adult, twisting innocent situations into something threatening. It's the kind of psychological manipulation that's almost invisible, until it's too late. And that's what makes this storyline so chilling. Because the damage isn't immediate. Builds, quietly, gradually, like a storm you don't see coming until it's already overhead. Gemma's growing suspicion. Jodie's behavior doesn't go completely unnoticed. Gemma, already wary of her, begins to sense that something isn't right. First, it's just why this storyline hits so hard. Coronation Street has never shied away from difficult topics. Over the years, it has explored grooming, abuse, and psychological trauma, often through deeply personal, character-driven stories. This storyline feels like a continuation of that tradition, because it taps into a very real fear. Not the obvious villain, but the one who hides in plain sight. The one who earns trust before exploiting it. The one who doesn't just hurt people but changes how they think, how they feel, and who they trust. A storm brewing on the cobbles. As the ITVX episodes unfold, one thing becomes clear. Jodie isn't done. If anything, she's just getting started. Her interest in the child is only the beginning of a much darker path, one that could fracture families, destroy trust, and leave lasting scars on everyone involved. And when the truth finally comes out, Weatherfield won't just be shocked. It will be shattered. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Coronation.